there's this story about a painter in Europe and his son. And they just painted together and loved one another. And in the First World War, the boy went off to battle. And he died. But he died saving the life of one of his comrades. The old man was just destroyed. He loved the boy so much. And so, after the war, a few months later, this soldier, young soldier, comes knocking on the door. He opened up to him, the old man did, the famous painter. And the boy looked at him and said, "Sir, I served with your son, and I always wanted to learn how to paint. And when we would be in the foxholes and different places, he would teach me how to draw. And I loved your son. But one day a bullet was marked for me, and your son saw the rifle before I did, jumped in front of the gun, and your son died for me. And sir, I know you're a famous artist, and I'm nothing, but I drew this picture of your son. He just means more to me than anything. And so, with what he taught me, I just drew this picture of your son." Well, the artist looked at it, and it was amateur to say the best. But he so appreciated it that he went into his great gallery, and he moved aside all his great paintings, and he put as a centerpiece that picture that soldier drew of his son. And then a few years later, the man dies, and there's a great auction. People from all over the world are gathered there to buy this man's art. The auctioneer stands up at the podium, slams down the mallet, and said, "The auction will begin, and the first piece to be auctioned will be this." And he pulled off the cover, and there's the picture that the soldier drew. Everyone in the room is laughing, mocking. Some of them said, "You've got to be kidding. No, we didn't come here for this and these types of games. Get that out of the way and let the auction begin." But just so happens the young soldier was seated there in the auction. He heard the mocking. It burned his heart. He said they couldn't understand, they couldn't see who this person was, what he meant to that soldier. And so he stood up and he said, "Sir, I don't have anything but a few pounds, shillings. But I'll give you everything that I have if the people will stop and give me that painting and let me leave with it." So the auctioneer looked at him, slammed down the mallet, said, "Sold for a few pounds and shillings." And then with everyone saying, "Finally, the painting's out of the way," the auctioneer slammed down his mallet again and said, "The auction is over." The people said, "What do you mean the auction's over? It hasn't even begun." And the auctioneer rolls out a piece of paper. It's the last will and testament of the painter. And he says this, "The one who takes my son gets it all. To hell with all these promises that these silly TV preachers are giving me other than Christ. They don't need to offer me healing. They don't need to offer me money. They don't need to offer me cars or comfort or Social Security or anything else. Is not Christ enough? The one who gets the Son, the one who takes the Son, gets it all. Everything else is rubbish." We don't come to Christ because He will fix our lives. We don't come to Christ because He will balance our checkbook. We do not come to Christ because He will heighten some awareness of self-esteem that we shouldn't have in the first place. We come to Christ because He's worthy. Because He's worthy.